Maybe I'm crazy, but I have been saying the wrong things in interviews my entire life. Or maybe I've just been looking wrong in interviews. I don't know. We'll get to it later.
Maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm not.
Welcome to Maybe I'm Crazy podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. We have a lot to talk about today. We are joined by Coach Rob Mendez. He is great. We're going to talk a lot of football with him, a little bit of gambling and the playoffs, some thoughts on coaching. And we also are going to talk about the Patriots, Tom Brady, where he's going to end up, the Titans, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Bills, Saints, Vikings, Kirk Cousins, Niner gang, Mike McCarthy. Joe Judge is now with the Giants, which is what I alluded to and what I need to say in interviews. Matt Rhule is going to the Panthers. The Browns have still not hired anyone. And we'll talk about the Golden Globes, Amanda Seales, and Coachella in Culture Report. But let's get started with Coach Rob Mendez. All right. It's a really big honor. Rob Mendez is joining us. Coach Rob Mendez is joining us on the Maybe I'm Crazy podcast. Thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having me. This is amazing.
You guys came up from San Diego. We really appreciate it.
Yep.
So you just moved to San Diego. You're originally from San Jose area?
Yep, from up north. I've been in San Jose, San Francisco area for like my whole life. But I just wanted to jump and try something new, and San Diego is beautiful.
Yeah, I've done that a couple times in my life. Although I moved to LA for work, so I don't know if that really counts. But I do know about moving somewhere where it's warmer because I lived in Miami for 10 years. But that's exciting. Nice way to start the new year, 2020.
Definitely.
And so are you coaching now? Are you getting back into coaching? What are you doing with that?
So I'll be applying for a few different jobs down there. Nothing's come of anything yet, but I just hope to land a varsity head coaching job. And I've heard of a few different openings, and I'm just trying to get my name out there, well established, and see what happens. I mean, there's nothing, going to hurt to try for this opportunity. So I've always wanted to live down here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're going to do fine, and you're going to get whatever you need.
I hope.
That's what's happening.
I appreciate it.
All right. So you are a San Francisco 49ers fan.
Big time. I had to bring the hat.
Yeah, you're in the hat. You got the scarf. Okay. I'm not going to, first of all, I didn't have the San Francisco 49ers making the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
But that's really not entirely fair because we do predictions before the season, and I knew they would be better than last year, but I didn't see this coming.
I'm right there with you. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm not crazy that I wasn't wild on them before the season started.
I predicted a 10-6, and everyone thought I was crazy for that. Everyone was saying 7-9, maybe 8-8, which was definitely an uplift from last year. But I knew when we shaped our defense this year, Lynch was really persistent on that, and that's a self-made defense right there. He drafted all 4 of those D linemen.
Right.
Plus, we got Quan Alexander coming back this weekend, which is I think are going to be a big help. I remember him in Tampa Bay. So I think as long as we stay healthy. So with Jimmy G going down last year, that was probably the end of our season.
Yeah, I mean, that was the season. Like, if your starting quarterback goes down, you really can't. That's how I feel about the Jets this year. Like, the Jets,
there you go.
like, I can't evaluate the Jets this year. Sam Darnold's out
Mr.
with
Mono.
the kissing disease. So what are you going to do? But they're playing the Vikings, right? And they're 7-point favorites, which I kind of feel like is a lot. Here's the thing about the Vikings. I'm not on the Kirk Cousins bandwagon. And shout out to Kirk Cousins. Like,
really?
He deserves a lot of credit. He puts up with all of our and like we give him all of it, and he can't win the big game, and he's like 0-a on Monday night, and came out and they played well. Their defense was incredible. Dalvin Cook was incredible.
Yeah.
I can't say anything bad about Kirk Cousins' performance.
Yeah.
However, I got to keep it real about the 49ers. While I do think that there's something about them that I'm not fully sold on this year, I mean, the Vikings aren't beating the 49ers, right? I don't have to live through that.
You know what? That's a good number on the spread because I feel like at this time of year, teams are really competitive. Minnesota earned it. Nobody saw them really beating New Orleans yesterday. And I didn't see the team outright winning. I did, I kind of predicted the spread. It was like 8, I think.
Yeah, I took the Vikings with the points. You got to. That's too much.
That was a good number to take. And then I think football, like I was telling you earlier, it's just a game of attitude. And when he went in there, Kirk Cousins was really hungry. He knew he was doubted, and I think that doubt kind of fueled him. So he's going to be doubted again this week against the Niners. But you know what? At the end of the day, the better teams usually are going to win. And I think the Saints possibly could have beat themselves yesterday. And also, I just think it's the time for the Vikings to realize what's going to happen.
Well, I mean, I think you're right. Like, the better team is going to win this game. I just don't see the Vikings going on some amazing, like, miracle playoff run. And maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm insane, but
Everybody likes a Cinderella team, right? But bottom line is the Niners have been proving themselves week in, week out. I mean, that Saints game, even I doubted them. I mean, we finished strong with our offense, and I know our defense has kind of declined a little bit, but we've been banged up. I mean, that game we didn't have, was it Solomon Thomas, I think, was out, and Richard Sherman too. So
yeah, I mean, you guys have had some crazy injuries, but it just hasn't mattered really. Like, look at where you are. Like, you got a bye week. So pretty early on in the season, or maybe before the season, I don't remember when I said it, but this really felt like the last year for the old guard of quarterbacks of Phillip Rivers, Tom Brady, Drew Brees. And even though Drew Brees has played out of his mind the last couple weeks, he was out for 5 weeks, and it kind of feels like, okay, like what's next for the Saints? I see Drew Brees coming back. I mean, I don't know how you don't, and I don't think that they're going to move on to Teddy, even though Teddy came in and did an amazing job. Yeah. Do you think Drew Brees is back next year?
Definitely. I mean, there's no reason for us to not think he's going to come back. He's been playing well. He's been playing at that top tier quarterback level that, you know, everybody expects him to play. I think they still need one more running back. I mean, when Ingram left, the offense was a little bit of a decline, but I mean, for the most part, Drew Brees is a leader, and he's healthy right now, and he's still hungry. So I think Tom and Drew are still coming back.
Okay, so you mentioned Brady. Let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
So I never bought into the Patriots were done because I've watched this movie too many times. But I was wrong, and I'm happy to be wrong about it. Like, cool, fine. Like, I'd rather be wrong than be the first to be wrong. Like, I'm okay with how it went down. Yeah. But he's not retiring. Like, and there's no way his career's just. It just feels like. And that's just not how Tom Brady's career is going to end. Like, he's either going to come back to the Patriots again, or he's going to go somewhere else next year. I personally feel like there's a little bit of a groundswell that he goes to the Chargers, but it feels kind of strange. Like, they're going to replace an old immobile quarterback with an older immobile quarterback.
If you put it that way, it doesn't make sense. But let's be honest, Phillip Rivers compared to Tom Brady, I mean, that's two quarterbacks that have not done it, or one quarterback that hasn't done it, and Tom Brady's done it, what, 5 times? 6 times. Sorry, Tom. Yeah. But, I mean, let's keep it real, too. The Patriots, they could have signed me as a receiver, and there wouldn't have been much of a drop-off. So
the receiving corps was not great this year, and it doesn't seem like they had any plans on fixing that. Like, it wasn't something they didn't know about before the season started.
They didn't do much. I mean, I got to be honest. When the season first started, I was even doubting the personnel for it. I just think that as long as you surround any quarterback with good players around them, they have an opportunity. And especially with Tom Brady's experience in the playoffs, I feel like he still's got one more Super Bowl left in him. So maybe that's just me being a fan of his career. And the one reason, let me clarify this too. I'm not a Patriots fan. Everyone thinks I'm a Patriots fan, all right? I'm not. I'm not condoning cheating, which I feel like sometimes they try for that, things like that. But the one thing I can relate to Tom Brady is that his passion for football. Yeah. So nobody loves football more than him on that football field. Nobody wants to win more than that. And usually with that hunger, it's really inexplainable. But Tom Brady has taught me to really be passionate about life, and also, with football. I've grown up around it. So right. That's the main reason why I'm a Tom Brady fan, not a Patriots fan. All
right. So other big news this week: the Cowboys have hired Mike McCarthy, which we were also talking about earlier. Mm-hmm. The hire kind of surprised me because he doesn't really feel like a fit there. I don't know who I actually expected them to keep Jason Garrett, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Really?
I thought they were going to keep him. Yes. But I think Jerry finally got pushed. I think Jerry wanted to keep him. I think it's going to come out that Jerry wanted to keep Jason Garrett, and he was pressured by Stephen Jones or whoever to let him go. But the one thing I will say about Mike McCarthy, and I do think this is kind of strange, is his reputation has gone to shit, as if he's never accomplished anything because his relationship with Aaron Rodgers deteriorated. Aaron Rodgers, quarterbacks get a lot of credit, but sometimes it's almost like, can you just calm down a little bit? They only play one side of the ball. You have to give the coach a significant amount of credit if you win a Super Bowl. He was a Super Bowl winning coach. There's not a lot of them out there available and ready to go coach a team. So isn't this a good situation for the Cowboys?
It is and it isn't. I mean, if you think about the career of Mike McCarthy, that's one strong reason to hire him. I mean, let's be honest, you always want to hire someone that has already done it. So, I mean, they kept him around for a reason, I felt like. And they had hope with him. After the Super Bowl, they had hope inside of him. So I feel like he's got the career and the knowledge of the X's and O's. The one part I question is Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy, 2 alphas, right? And I feel like, Jerry, as we all know, runs that team.
Right.
He's going to be making the executive decisions, especially when it comes to personnel. Maybe I'm just talking, out of my ass. Maybe I don't know, because you really don't know behind closed doors what's happening. But from our experience, Jerry has ran that team, right? So do you see Mike McCarthy being a yes man? I don't know.
No.
I don't think so. I think he can help Dak in a sense, with the quarterback position, maybe balance out the run game, because they definitely need to run the ball a little bit more. So bringing in an offensive coach was definitely a great idea. But, let's be real. Mike McCarthy and Jerry Jones, that's a relationship I question. But then again, you got Mike McCarthy staying at Jerry's house. So maybe they're gaining some good relationship bonds and things.
That's kind of weird to me. I don't know why we're just glossing over that. But I don't know. I guess rich people do that. I'm
sure there's houses within a big mansion
I'm
or
sure
something.
He's got a guest house.
Space.
But it's like, do you say no? Like, if you're there at the house interviewing with Jerry, he's like, oh, you got to stay in the guest house. It's fabulous. Like, no, I'm
your
good.
own cottage back there, you're good.
You're kind of like you're there interviewing for the job. I guess you got to stay.
Yeah.
Now, an organization that probably needs a lot of hands on it is the Browns. Because I'm silly and impressionable, picked them to be in the wild card weekends before the season because I fell for it because I'm a sucker, and which is really stupid because I'm from Pittsburgh, so I shouldn't pay the Browns any mind. But they're a disaster this year. It was an absolute dumpster fire. What do you think the Browns need to do to fix the whole organization, not just Baker Mayfield and what's going on the field?
Discipline. Just one thing is discipline. That team had all the pieces of the puzzle. And let's be honest, Kitchen's going into his first year as a head coach. I was a fan of him because he did turn things around last year. And I thought they were going to maybe stick with Greg Williams as the head coach because he does have that head coach also discipline within him.
Right.
And Kitchens, he did a great job with the offensive side of the ball. I think last year him and Baker meshed well. Going into it, I think they fed into the hype and they lost focus on what really was. And Baltimore just kind of sat back and just let Cleveland do all the attention. Baker was talking about Super Bowl. Baltimore didn't even say one thing about anything. And they knew Lamar Jackson. We all knew Lamar Jackson had a potential. We didn't realize how great he was going to be.
Right.
But, when you feed into the hype like that, especially at the NFL level, you lose focus. And then after that incident with Pittsburgh with Myles Garrett and Rudolph,
yeah.
What does Kitchens do? He creates more tension, creates more fuel to the fire by wearing that T-shirt. As a head coach, your main job is to keep your players focused, right? Cancel out all the noise. That's why Belichick is a great head coach, because he cancels out all the noise, forgets all the BS, and just focuses on what is needed, which is the next thing. We're on to Cincinnati, right? We're on to whoever. So I think Kitchens, he'll be back. I feel like he'll be back because this was a great learning experience for him. He's going to definitely be back on a coaching staff this year. But as a head coach, you got to take what happened this year and realize that it's all about focus and block out the noise. And if you can't get control of that team, which is a young team and with talent, then that's what's going to happen. OBJ and Baker ran that show over down there. So
I agree with you. Like, it's a discipline situation, which is why I thought Mike McCarthy would be the perfect hire for them. Obviously, the Browns are not pulling Mike McCarthy away from the Cowboys if that was the situation. So it really didn't matter. Now, moving forward, I don't know who can come in and do that. Like, it's Josh McDaniels' name keeps getting dropped there.
I would hate to lose Coach Saleh, but he would be a great guy for the job. I feel like because
so obviously I'm a big fan of Coach Saleh. But do you think that he is because he's a very fiery guy?
Oh, I love that. That's what you need. I just feel like that energy and that discipline meshed up together with Baker's determination too, he can straighten out Baker, I feel like. And he'll be the coach to be like, hey, look, if you don't do this, then we'll just sit your ass quick. I feel from seeing him.
That's his personality then.
Yeah, no patience, I feel like.
I if that's how he is, but the one thing I will say in his favor is that Baker cannot no longer be the face of the franchise because clearly he's incapable of doing that.
Really?
And I say that as somebody who's a big Baker supporter. I thought he should have started from day one. Love Tyrod, but you can't not start the number one overall pick at quarterback. Gotta start. It's fine. You don't sharks are born swimming. Get him out there.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Doesn't matter if he loses. He's gonna lose some games. That's gonna be all right. But so I was a big Baker supporter. But at this point, it's dude, you can't be yelling at fans from the stands to come down and fight you. You know he can't come down and fight you. You're just being hold me back guy, and nobody likes hold me back guy. Nobody respects that.
Yeah, definitely.
So and you're the franchise quarterback. I can't even imagine. I would faint if I saw Tom Brady do that. I'd be like, it's over. Like, we're done. It's done here. Like,
Well,
retire.
that's what separates the average versus the greats. I mean, let's keep it real. Drew Brees or Tom Brady would never do that.
Never.
And then there was another perfect example in Week 17 when they played the Bengals. They were down, like 35-17. Baker busted like an 8-yard run, got the first. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, that's something to be happy about. But he acted like he won the game, forgot about the scoreboard, and forgot who he was playing against. I mean, it was just ridiculous when I saw that. And I thought that was the main reason why they're at where they're at in Week 17.
Okay,
Yeah.
so right now, so we know what the next round of the playoffs are going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you have making it to the Super Bowl? My preseason prediction was the Cowboys. And I know.
Whoa.
Look.
I'm not even saying that from biasness either. But.
In my defense, it was partly because I was kind of trying to speak it into existence because Fox has the Super Bowl this year, and I'm a company man, and a Cowboys Super Bowl is like delicious for us.
For Fox, that'd
like,
be great. Yeah.
Really good. Not that there's not some other available Super Bowls right now that are going to be great, but the Cowboys are on a whole different level, obviously, and they didn't even make the playoffs, so that's irrelevant. But I picked the Chiefs to win, and they're still alive. So right now, the teams that we have now, I know you're going to say 49ers, but if it's not the 49ers, who are you picking? Who are you picking to make the Super Bowl, at least? I should say that.
Let's just keep it real. I mean, Baltimore and San Francisco, how do you go against those predictions right there?
I think, listen, I'm big with you. I'm with you on the Ravens. And listen, like, it probably will be the Ravens. I just think that if it's the Chiefs and Ravens, that's going to be that's an AFC championship game right there. Like, that's going to be amazing.
Minnesota, they have something to prove this year, but I'm not going to say that they have all the right pieces yet because they were so inconsistent. I mean, Week 17 when they got beat by the Packers by a lot, they didn't just get beat; they got beat by a lot. And then I was kind of high on the Saints, even as a Niner fan. I thought that was going to be the team to beat in the NFC. And then the Seahawks. We can't forget the Seahawks.
Yeah, I don't think you can count the Seahawks out. It just doesn't matter.
They play the Niners. They play the Niners tough every single game. And don't get me wrong, I'm going to say this as a Niner fan. We should have had that Week 1 game if we had maybe Robbie Gould. It could have been different. But at the end of the day, I mean, like Russell Wilson is just amazing. I talk smack about him, whenever I'm, talking to my friends. But let's just keep it real also. Russell Wilson is just amazing. And then Chris Carson was a big loss. The running back situation was a big loss.
I mean, they've lost everybody. But I love Marshawn Lynch being back.
Really?
Oh, I love Marshawn Lynch. I think Marshawn Lynch
He's older than my wheelchair, and my wheelchair's outdone. Come on, I mean, like.
I love Marshawn Lynch. How do you not love Marshawn Lynch? He just runs right through your face. He is one of my favorite all-time NFL players. Like, I've never made a list of my all-time favorite players, but Marshawn is 100% in the top 10.
He gave his heart to football. I'll be honest. Like, his heart and dedication, and when he was doing that Super Bowl pre-interviews, I'm just here to not get fined.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Yeah, it's real. He doesn't want to buy into all the superficial crap. He just wants to play football. That's the part I admire about Marshawn Lynch. But then there was moments where he would get a little over his head a little bit, and he wasn't the best running back the last 2 years.
Well, no, but he wasn't even playing.
The last 2 years of his career, I meant 15, 16.
Okay.
So dating back to when he was with the Seahawks.
When he was
and with the Raiders too. Everybody was high on him going to the Raiders, right?
That's because everybody loves Marshawn.
Exactly.
That's what it is. It doesn't matter.
That's my point.
But look, this is the thing though.
What's that?
In these moments, this is what you need. That moment where there's
on the 1 yard line?
Yes, just run straight through your face. Like, you're just going to run straight through your face. There's no finesse. There's no no moves. It's just I'm running over you.
If you keep
him
if you keep him as a touchdown vulture, then yes, maybe running him within the 5 yard line.
Though, there's not everybody can do that.
Well, that's one of the reasons why they don't have a Super Bowl. So, I mean, they threw the ball over the middle. So
that wasn't his choice.
No, not him. I think Carroll has, done a great job. But then again, you got to, fault him for not only the call in the Super Bowl, but look what happened against the Niners. I mean, they had a delay of game, I think.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a meltdown. But I mean, look, you can't really. That was an incredible game, and they were right there. They were inches, game of inches.
Oh, I loved it. The stuff. Oh, that was awesome.
I do. I'm not
the
gonna
shoulder
lie.
forearm.
I'm not gonna lie. I love a good goal line stop. The Saints did that twice.
I mean, every
maybe
football
3 times
fan's gotta
yesterday.
love that.
I love that. It's so tense. And it's it is great. I will give you that. But okay, so who is it? So it's Niners, Ravens?
I think Seattle's going to play Green Bay tough, but because of the weather and Green Bay's home field advantage, I think Green Bay will steal that game.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm going to take the spread.
+4 Seattle.
Yeah.
I think I would too, actually. I might buy a point on that or 2 points or something. But
yeah, I mean, I think I'm gonna take a spread, but because they're an incredible road team.
Yeah.
But Green Bay's an incredible home team.
it'll be between 3 and 6 points. I think the difference right there. But
All right, so you think Seattle loses to Green Bay?
Yep.
So it's Green Bay and the
And obviously
Niners.
everybody knows my pick on the Niner game.
Niners beat Green Bay. Ravens, Chiefs. Ravens move on.
Green Bay comes to Santa Clara. Sorry, Packer friends, because they treated me so greatly over there. I love that organization a lot. I mean, I'm telling you right now, if I wasn't a Niner fan from day one, I'd be pulling for the Packers. And Coach LaFleur is an amazing guy.
Yeah.
Just getting to know him a little bit at the practice field and what they did for me, that organization is amazing. But I'm going to have to just keep my football side a little bit and also my loyalty, the faithful.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to choose the Niners on that game. But it's going to be intense. I don't want to overlook this game. So I hate to talk about that game going forward, but if we're going to go forward in this podcast, I think the Niners should be able to take care of Green Bay, especially what happened on that Sunday night game. I mean, Green Bay came over here and didn't even keep it a game. They were done.
Okay, so we got to talk about all the games before we let you go then. So since we've skipped over the Texans and Chiefs, it's a lot. They're getting 9.5 points. The last time the Texans played the Chiefs, it was a shootout and they won in Kansas City, right? Yeah. 9.5 points is a lot. Now listen, I think the Chiefs are rolling and Patrick Mahomes was a little banged up in that game.
Thank you. I think that game was like in early November.
It was. I know. And Patrick Mahomes wasn't 100%. But you don't think 9.5 points is a lot of points? Like, it's Deshaun Watson. Like,
it is. So
they do start slow is the only thing. The Texans start so slow.
Yeah.
So and DeAndre Hopkins is like 30th or something in receiving yards in the first half, and then like second in the second half. So once he gets going, he's great. Obviously, he's one of the best in the league. But I don't know. I don't think I could do 9.5 points.
9.5 is a lot, and I'm banking on that half point being the make or break deal. I feel like that's a good number to put the game at. But I'm totally with you. I mean, especially at this time of year, everybody is so competitive.
Right.
So to put anything over like a 6-point spread, that's difficult to overcome.
It's supposed to snow this weekend in Kansas City.
How was the weather? I was just going to ask you that because I don't remember watching that game.
So it's supposed to snow on Saturday. No, for this weekend when the Texans and the Chiefs play in Kansas City, it's supposed to snow and it's going to be like 30 degrees.
But I don't remember the game on the 10th
Oh,
of
yeah,
November.
I'm sure it was fine. Like it was clear.
It was nice and clear where Deshaun Watson felt like he was indoors in Houston and things like that.
Yeah, I'm sure the weather was fine. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just don't see a Chiefs blowout. I think the Chiefs are going to win.
You know how we always get surprised with our picks. I'm totally on with you about the plus 9.5, but I have a feeling something unexpectedly, just like this last weekend, is going to happen, and KC's out to prove themselves. Yeah. I mean, they know that they need to prove themselves with a big game this week to go into Baltimore next week. So they're not only looking to win the game. I think they're really looking to dominate this week. And Andy Reid is on that momentum hype where he feels good, confident. You got Mahomes healthy, and Kelsey usually shines in the playoffs or usually shines this time of year.
Yeah, he's a big time player.
So I like that. I like the minus 9.5 KC if I were to kind of put money on it. But the argument against it is totally understandable, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I also just think like I don't know. I just don't know because it's kind of like an emotional win for the Texans last week too. Yeah. So and then Baltimore, like I mean, come on. I think I'm taking Baltimore with the points.
What is that, 9.5 too?
Yeah, I just I mean, like great win Titans. Thank you for shutting down the Patriots, but I don't know about all that.
Careful for sleeper Tannehill. I mean, he's the resurrection.
I know because I'm taking underdogs except for that, but I'm just thinking all the favorites are going to win. Well, thanks so much for coming up and talking some football with us. Again, you can check Rob out at Coach Rob Mendez on Twitter and Instagram. Great follow on both.
Yes,
and we'd love to have you in again if you're back in LA sometime.
I hope to see you in Miami maybe.
Yes, we are definitely going to link in Miami. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be crazy, but just stay on the beach.
Joy, this was awesome. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. We really appreciate it.
Appreciate
all the way
it.
over there.
Yes.
Come back up again soon, and we appreciate you.
All right, thanks.
With it, with it, quit it.
What?
With it. We about to turn up in this bitch.
All right, Heller, what am I winning or quitting today?
Some sports things. Okay, Jason Garrett's Cowboys contract will expire a week from today on January 14th. In the meantime, America's team's new coach, Mike McCarthy, is compiling his staff and having sleepovers at the Jones family manor. McCarthy has a Super Bowl ring and the development of Aaron Rodgers to his credit. Joy, Mike McCarthy is the right hire for the Cowboys. Wit it or quizit it.
I'm going to wit it. Even if I never saw this coming, and I don't think really anybody did, I do think it's harder to get away from Jerry Jones if you spend the night.
Man.
There's a lot to unpack there. Like, when I read that news, I was like, so we're all going to Would you not act like that's normal? Is that a normal thing?
Okay, just let me.
I don't know, as a woman, it's very easy for me to say no to everything and get away with it. Even if it's something I like, I can just say no, and then it's no.
Just can you, off the top of your head, come up with any circumstances where you would stay at another adult human's home that wasn't a family member or a mate
or a friend?
If you were visiting their town, I guess he's visiting town. He doesn't have a house. Okay, I guess.
There's nothing.
I don't know.
All right, I'm just gonna say it. There's nothing not weird about it. All
okay,
right,
cool, great.
Maybe
That's what
rich people do, but for the rest of us, it's not normal. But we're just gonna get out. We're just gonna pretend like we're just moving on from that. He's hired now, so it is what it is.
It worked. Whatever it is, it worked. That's
whatever happens, he's there. So McCarthy has a 618 career win percentage. He is the fourth highest. This is the fourth highest among active coaches. He's went to 4 NFC championship games.
That's good.
He won Super Bowl 45. He went 11-16-1 in his last 2 seasons with Green Bay. As you mentioned, he developed Aaron Rodgers. He's legit. And I know everyone is talking about how quickly he abandons the run and he wants to throw. Well, when you have Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre,
throw the ball.
You want to throw the ball.
Yep.
When you have Ezekiel Elliott, maybe you'll be a little more inclined to run the ball. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. And, of course, what happened with Aaron Rodgers. And, there was a lot of stuff said. He likes to get massages. I personally get a massage once a week. So I can relate. So they're not expensive, so don't worry. This got weird. Anyway, the point is, I never bailed on Mike McCarthy. Sometimes relationships just split. Run organizations to superstar situations. Sometimes it's just all right, we've had enough.
Yep.
Everything is stale now. You go your way, you'll be successful. You go your way, I'll be successful. And that's what it is. And I think that's what happened in Green Bay. Now, do I think Aaron Rodgers was frustrated? Sure. But
Aaron Rodgers is a prickly
Aaron
guy,
Rodgers,
though.
he likes his scotch and sweaters, okay?
Yeah.
So whatever that means. But
he
the
likes
point
to pass
is
judgment.
he does. He's a very particular guy.
Yeah.
Which in general, successful people are very particular. I am extremely particular. I like my certain pen. I like my, I have to have multiple drinks. I have weird things too. So I understand. But Mike McCarthy is also responsible for that Super Bowl. And he is also responsible for the success that Aaron Rodgers has had when he was in Green Bay. As we all know, Aaron Rodgers plays only the offensive side of the ball. So you have to give the coach some credit whenever you win a Super Bowl. Okay? Now, if you go on some miracle run and you don't make it all the way and you don't win, then maybe I would lend more to okay, this guy put the team on his back. But if you win a Super Bowl, that means some decisions were made that put together an entire team that was capable of winning a championship. Super Bowls are very hard to win. You know why we know that? Because Aaron Rodgers hasn't won another one since then. Honey,
he's been trying real hard too.
And trying real hard, right? And I like them this year, okay?
Yep.
And I like everything that's gone on there, all right? But I also like Mike McCarthy. So I didn't see this coming, and maybe it's not the perfect fit, but he was the best available candidate. And I'm going to say it, I like Ron Rivera a lot. He's a better candidate than Ron Rivera because he actually won a Super Bowl. And
the offensive side of the ball thing too is very popular right now. So the fact that McCarthy is more of an offensive coach is definitely.
And I like Ron Rivera a lot. He's
favor.
1A. It's not a big gap because he's been to a Super Bowl with Cam Newton. But I think that Mike McCarthy's success depends entirely on Jerry Jones. Mike McCarthy is completely capable coach.
Yep.
He's a Super Bowl winning coach.
There's your owner GM right there.
Yeah. I mean, that's the guy who's going to determine whether he's successful or not because Mike McCarthy has all the pieces. Listen, they had the talent to make the playoffs this year. Whatever happened, happens, okay? But they need a piece here, a piece there, and they need that extra edge. And maybe that's giving Dak Prescott his contract so he feels empowered like it's his team. I don't know what it is, but what I do know is if Jerry Jones meddles or Stephen Jones meddles or if there's some kind of situation where Mike McCarthy isn't able to do what he came there to do, they're not going to be successful. It's not going to be because Mike McCarthy's not a capable coach.
It's going to be because Jerry made him keep Kellen Moore. Anyway.
Which is, I don't think he's making him keep him.
That's meddling though, isn't it?
If he's making him keep him, yeah. If he wants to keep him.
What if he asked him during the sleepover if he would do it? Isn't that meddling?
Okay. I have questions, but
okay.
I don't know where I'm going to get the answers for them.
All right.
What's next?
It's so hard to say goodbye for Tom Brady. The GOAT, a.k.a. TB12, a.k.a. Giselle's husband, may be looking for a new team to quarterback next season. After 2 losses and to end the season earlier than the Pats fans are used to, and no serious contract extension negotiations underway, it's time for Tom Brady to bounce from New England. Joy, Wit it or Quit It.
Wit it. And by the way, that only Tom Brady can wear that hat. So
the beanie?
all of you guys out there planning on buying that giant hat, don't do it.
The giant beanie?
Don't do it. Beanies are fine. That beanie is not for everyone.
Yeah, that's not a hipster. There's like a smaller hipster beanie that I've been considering that's in. But
small beanies are fine. Normal size beanies. That was a giant beanie.
Yeah.
That giant beanie goes with that giant coat he wears on the sideline. He just forgot he wasn't wearing the giant coat. Anyway, it's time for him to go. So, sorry, Pats fans. You had a wonderful run.
You're not sorry.
I love this. This was my favorite part.
Please stay, Tommy.
Please stay,
Tommy. Please stay.
Tommy?
Yeah, like you know him. And
It was such a special thing when I saw that.
I love Tom Brady more than my father. I bet you that's what he's saying right there.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking forward to, and it's not far off. I'm looking forward to when the Patriots have to go through what the rest of us go through. Because Patriots fans have not had to go through that in a long time. And Bill Belichick let you have it. Because one of the reporters asked him, like, what do you think about the fans that have stuck through thick and thin? He was like, ain't all that thin around here.
Yep.
All right? Why don't you pipe down with the thin stuff, okay? Why don't you go check out a couple other teams in our division, talk about thin stuff. All right? It's nice and thick around here. Nice thick layer of goodness.
Yep.
Thrive in that. Remember that. Thick layer of winning.
And
thick layer
work.
of rings. All right, thick layer of cheating scandals to provide those rings. So why don't you bounce out of here
Thick layer of
with
smug.
that thin stuff?
Yeah.
Anyway, Tom Brady is going to the Chargers.
Woo!
Now, in
Powder
general,
blue.
I don't care about.
Oh, Donnie.
Fresh
Donnie, them eyes are popping, baby. Damn, I'm gonna
Look at that. He looks more tan and everything.
I want to go swimming in
that's
Tom
'cause
Brady's
that's somebody
eyes.
else's body.
That's when but there's Phillips' arms.
Well,
That's
yeah,
Phillips'
I mean,
arms, so
so that makes more sense.
Yeah, he's gonna get those when
Right,
he's in
but
San
I thought for
Diego.
a second we just took the jersey. No, those are someone else's arms.
Yeah.
And someone else's neck.
Yeah. Tommy.
Yeah,
though,
so he'll get a nice tan. He'll get a nice
my
bronze
gosh.
in Los
gosh.
Angeles.
Yep.
That's funny. That looks good. I don't care about the Chargers brand. I just want to say that right now. So
What
for
brand
anyone,
is it?
Right. So for anyone who's like, oh, you live in LA, that's why you want this. I actually don't, because I in general the Chargers are really good at losing when they should be winning. But that's the point. So I understand it's kind of weird. Like you're replacing an old immobile quarterback for an older immobile quarterback. However, there's a lot to this. One, and I'm not crazy on this because Mike Sando at The Athletic spoke with a couple NFL executives, one of who believes that Brady and Belichick each want to separate and win a championship on their own, which was my theory yesterday.
It was.
When we were prepping, not saying that they stole it because it's not that original of an idea. The point
Great
is,
minds think alike.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yep. So look, they've had a lot of success together, but they're forever tethered to each other. Okay, if you will. What was the tethered?
Us.
Yeah, no, I know the movie. I'm saying that's what they call them, the tethered. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. So Belichick's the tethered, I guess, in this spot, right?
Right, because Brady's more forward
he like grumbles
facing.
and mumbles.
Yep.
And
He's not. Yeah,
right.
Oh my gosh!
I just came up with that
And
right
he
now.
wears fingerless gloves, and he carries those scissors to cut the sleeves off of his.
Oh my God!
Wow!
Mm-hmm.
Do 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 do.
That's not the music for it.
That was. Oh, I was doing like Unsolved Mysteries. Anyway,
All right, this is all spiraling. Anyway, the point is they're tethered together, and they'd like to snip the tether and separate and see if they can win on their own. And whoever does win on their own is going to get the credit for, not going to get the credit for, but get just that 1% more credit for
51-49.
this
That's
dynasty.
what we need.
Right. And that's what is going to determine the next couple years. Now, obviously, Belichick has more time than Brady because we're assuming that Belichick is going to coach until he's 954 years old.
Yep.
Brady has like 3 more years, if that. I'm being generous.
3 more.
He wants to play till he's 45.
He wants to. A lot of people want to do a lot of stuff.
A lot of people aren't Tom Brady.
That's true.
So I think he's going to do whatever he wants to do because this league will allow him. But the point is, the Chargers are the best situation for a team that needs a quarterback that he can go to. They have a bunch of pieces, and he can elevate them to the next step. Now, I feel bad for Phillip Rivers, but look, man, it's over. All right? So I'm sorry, but we're done here. And Brady is not over. Like, has Brady stepped down a little bit? Yes, he has. He's still able to do what he needs to do. Okay, they did not have a good receiving core this year. We
I
don't
would
need to
watch-
go over it. We've talked about it at nauseum,
I'd watch them with good receivers.
which makes it absolutely crazy that their wide receiver coach just got a head coaching job for the New York Giants, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
But
You be
wow.
the judge.
I mean, we are all judging.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I think this will happen. I don't believe that Belichick will leave New England. I don't believe that. Belichick is much older. It's a whole situation. Unless he is just so, like, something happens with him and Bob Kraft that goes so badly that he feels like he has to prove something.
Jimmy G?
Who's getting rid of Kyle Shanahan?
No, I'm saying they sent Jimmy G away for Brady. They chose Brady over Belichick. Kraft did when he sent Jimmy G away.
Yeah, and then they just won a Super Bowl. So, wrong.
Right, but now he's got to choose again.
Well,
between Bill and Tommy.
Oh no. He's gonna have to choose between Bill and Tommy, but I don't think that they're going. I don't think that Brady is going to choose the Patriots. I think Brady is going to choose to leave. We would love you in Miami, sir. Just saying. It's a rebuild, so it's a little bit more of a project, but we'll
2020 NFC or AFC East champion Miami Dolphins. Let's write it in. It's gonna happen.
If Tom Brady goes, though, yeah, for sure.
For sure.
For show. Twommy. I love you, Twommy.
Tommy.
Hear ye. Kirk Cousins is petty. Go off, Kirk. I'm not even mad at him. He finally got his big win, and he deserves it. He deserves to be petty. He went into the locker room and did his whole "we like that," and look how happy he is. Just jumping and crying and sweating, and everyone's so happy. Look how happy all of them are. That's why I don't think that they're going to do very well next week. But I'll get to that at the end of the show. He's been bad in big games. I think he's 0-9 in Monday Night Football games or something. 0-8, 0-9. He's 7-30 against teams with winning records by the end of the year. So not good. But they deserve to gloat. I didn't give them 1% chance against the Saints this weekend. I didn't think they would cover, but I did not. The Saints offense was nothing what it needed to be. And though they deserve to gloat, and I'll eat it this week, and you can do Choppa style and Champagne's face all you want. You deserve all of it. You do.
Chop style. Chop style.
I don't know how to do it. Come on, chop. At least, thank God, there was no ridiculous call that ended the situation. The Vikings clearly fairly won. It was not pass interference at the end. It just wasn't. There's going to be some pushing. I don't even know if that's a thing in New Orleans. It's hopefully not. But look, they just did not play well. They didn't, and it was disappointing. But Kirk Cousins, he finally got his big win. All right, Donnie, what's in high key, low key today?
All right, high key, the Giants panicked. Low key, raise your hand if you had to Google Joe Judge.
Okay, so everyone good.
Yep,
No,
yep.
Jeremy?
Everybody but Jeremy. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I really want to know, what do these men say in these interviews?
You're asking the wrong person.
What, can you give me the scoop? Give me the secrets, man. Because, I got to be the very best at everything I do every single day. Period. You're the wide receiver coach for the Patriots, the 22nd best wide receiving core in the league, and now you're the coach of the Giants.
That's
what do you say?
it's sickening.
I gotta know. Is it a look? Well,
Yeah, Heller, can you answer this question?
I don't know. It seems like there's not a whole lot of diversity in the hires so far.
Is the Rooney Rule out the window? Does that not exist anymore?
It exists, but the Cowboys.
You never heard of a loophole, Donnie?
Interviewed Marvin Lewis, which, look, the Rooney Rule is a whole another conversation. Obviously, you can't break, hundreds of years of institutionalized racism with the Rooney Rule. And I like that the Rooney Rule is there, and it's good, and it should, of course, be followed. But, you can't make people change. Not saying that that's why he was hired. I'm just saying all the hires have been pretty consistent, except for Ron Rivera, of course. But Ron Rivera is not black, just so you know. The point is, I want to know what he says in these. What do they say in these interviews? So, just to be clear, pretty much nobody knows what happened here. We stacked the show, and what? You know what happened?
Someone in this person's family knows someone in the Maras.
You know that for a fact.
Nope.
Oh.
I'm telling you, that's what happened though.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, that would make sense. I listen.
I went to college with so and so.
I'm sure there's some
there's so and so, and I coached
I don't know.
with
We're all
so and so.
speculating here, but there's just nothing that makes sense. Like, let's just be honest here. This is
Then they did the secret handshake, and then it was good.
Yeah. Oh my God. This is an upgraded Freddie Kitchen situation. Like, he was at least a coordinator, special teams coordinator, but a coordinator. Okay. So Freddie was never a coordinator. He was the interim coordinator. He was up for some college jobs. So like there's that. But he's the head coach of the Giants now, and I really think they just panicked. Like, I think MATT RHULE got hired, and that was their guy, and they were like,
They're like,
he coaches the Patriots. Tom Brady's pretty good. Let's get him. Bill Belichick, great. First of all, hello. List of Belichick assistants. Successful Belichick assistants. Give me a second. I'll have to look. I had a note here. I don't, because they don't exist. And Bill O'Brien tried his hardest to lose to the Bills last week. So don't give me Bill O'Brien either. Like, that, if that's the standard, again, what are y'all saying in these interviews? So I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. Hopefully he's successful. Great, cool. I like when the Giants are good. It's better for all of us because they were a cornerstone franchise, and it is New York. I don't get it. I don't have any answers. I don't know. I absolutely had to Google him today. So did everybody that I work with. So before you come at me with the like, how do you not know, Joe? How do you not know? I can't get the Boston accent. He coached Tommy.
Say Tommy.
He coached Tommy. How you don't know Joe? Anyway, nobody. Good luck.
It's like Daniel Jones though. Dave Gettleman.
Is it Gettleman or Gentleman?
He caught everybody off guard with drafting Daniel. It's his philosophy is to do what everyone is not expecting. Not that it's gonna work out, but I see some similarities there.
Okay. Sure. I don't know. It's mad weird, but great. Like, I don't know what to say. Just write a book and tell me what you say in the interviews. That's all I need to know. And then tell me what I'm supposed to look like in the interview. Let me stop. What's next?
High key, MATT RHULE is the right hire for the Panthers. Low key, only if he makes the right decision at QB though.
Yeah, so this was obviously the big news. Everyone was shocked by the Joe Judge move, but this was the hire. So yeah, I mean, so whatever he decides to do with Cam Newton is going to determine his success. Now, he does have a 7-year deal. Good.
Shouts to your agent.
Good on you. Yes. Great job out of you and your agent. If he can get all that time, of course, because, billionaires sign checks all the time. But it's going to be interesting. Like, if he moves on from Cam this year, we know Kyle Allen's not the guy. So, like, You try and, like, make some aggressive trade. Like, you still need a quarterback. Cam Newton's super cheap this year. He's likely going to be healthy by the time season starts. He's had surgery. So, if I'm him, I'm keeping Cam Newton another year, what happens, and then, make the decision whether I'm going to move on or not. Because, look, you got 6 more years left. So, do what you need to do and build your situation. But he is great at creating environments and cultures. Like, that's what he does. Baylor was an absolute disaster of epic proportions before he got there. And now they're in a great situation. Now, I mean, what they're going to do after him is a different thing. But, like, the turnaround that he pulled at Baylor is to be commended. So he's a good coach. I think it's a good hire. What the transition from college to pros, I think it really just depends on your ability to relate to professional players. Like, it takes time to learn the NFL systems and how things work in the NFL. Like, okay, I get all that. Like, anytime a guy's going from college to the NFL without any experience before that, and he has a little bit, but, like, as a head coach, obviously, it's traumatic. It's a big difference. This is not Baylor. Like, it's Carolina Panthers. You're not playing Texas Tech.
Right.
So there's going to be that adjustment. But to me, college guys, it's about being able to relate to professional athletes, and all that rah stuff. Like, is that going to work in the locker room? But it's his team. Like, he's got 7 years, so I'm interested to see what happens. But I think it's a good hire, though. What's next?
High key, what are the Browns doing? Low key, I kind of want Robert Saleh to go to Cleveland.
I think I do now. I think I kind of do. I think it'd just be fun because
No.
No? Well, yeah.
He's a defensive coordinator. The 49ers.
Selfish. Share the love.
That's true. I could see where you're coming from there. But so is this so he doesn't lose it, or so no one steals it?
So he can just drop it and it snaps right up.
Oh, okay.
So they're talking about a thing he's got connected to his waistband like you would at work.
Yes.
to connect your badge.
So you connect your badge. Donnie has one.
Donnie's got one because he's real cool, and so does Robert Saleh with his playbook on it. I think it's for intense moments where he forgets to hold stuff in his hands.
It's so funny
and
what
he
people have to
celebrates.
do because of their like personalities, like the things that they need.
It's like
he's so excitable he needs a stretchy majig.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
for
It's like a chain wallet for his.
chain wallet. He has a chain wallet. Yes. I like him a lot. But the Browns are the last drunk man standing. They haven't hired anyone yet. I have no idea what their plan is. They actually really should hire Eric Bieniemy or they should hire Jason Garrett. I know Josh McDaniels is probably who they're going to go with. I don't know about Josh McDaniels. I don't want to judge Josh McDaniels entirely on what happened in Denver, but you did bail on Indianapolis. So you can't forget that.
Yeah.
I don't really know what to make of Josh McDaniels, but I do think that the one thing that the Browns need is stability. So I think that Garrett would bring that. But I don't know if Garrett's going to coach this year or not. And if he does, he probably should just be the offensive coordinator for the Giants. But at this point, if they're going to go rogue, I like Robert. I just want to see what happens.
Go rogue. I'm all for rogue.
Yeah, I'm up for rogue at this point. He's wild. And they're wild. I don't think it's a good situation for him. If I was him, I would stay with the 49ers another year and see what's happening next year. But it'll probably end up being McDaniels. But Eric Bieniemy or Jason Garrett is who they should hire. And they should give him a very long contract and let them build the franchise into something successful and establish culture. But that probably won't happen. Yeah, all right. Time for losers?
Time for losers.
Loser power rankings. Loser power rankings. These are the losers of the week. All right. Who's some losers this week?
First up, dynasties, just in general.
Yeah, Dynasty's taking the L lately.
It's been rough.
All right, so Patriots are done. Took so long for this to happen. I had to wait and wait and wait.
Where were you when it
wait
happened?
and wait and wait. I was on my couch. I actually couldn't believe it was happening. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, the pick six was kind of crazy. I was like, whoa, did I just see that?
Yep.
I did.
It was just wild. Like, it just felt like the floor had fallen out of the building. Like, it was so stunning. Like, I just imagine everyone in there, like, holding their Sammy Adams. Like,
hands on the head. Fans are always putting their hands on their head when they say it.
It's not a victory cobra. It's a defeat cobra.
Defeated
or
cobra.
something. Yeah.
it's like a yoga pose.
It's not
Defeated
bad.
Cobra.
Yeah. They all assumed that position.
Yeah, it was enjoyable to watch. I can't believe I'm glad I got that experience to watch that. Obviously, the Dubs, Dub Nation. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
T and Heller.
You say the end of Dynasty. We say hiatus.
Hiatus. Dynasty's over, fam.
What did Jordan do in between his titles? Just out of curiosity. Did he
calm
not
down.
play a
All
lot of
right.
basketball? Okay.
Just
All right,
relax.
cool. Yeah.
Let's calm down. All right. Steve Curry's getting tossed out every game. It's chaos there. All right.
For effect only.
Okay, if you say so. Look, Steph and Clay are gonna be back next year. You guys are gonna be good again. But the
Plus
dynasty,
plus D'Lo, plus
dynasty is over. It's not coming back. I know Pats fans are out there like, hater. Yes, I am. And it is over because the second Brady walks out that door, I'm sorry to inform you, maybe you haven't checked the depth chart recently, you don't have a replacement.
Stidham?
Spurs, not Stidham.
Stidham?
The Spurs, obviously, that's kind of been over for a while now, but it's like definitely over now.
Yeah.
And they're still like competitive, but like it just doesn't feel the same anymore. They don't have that same fear to me. Game of Thrones, very sad.
Yeah,
very sad. I'm working into my new show now, so I just finished Watchmen.
Oh, I still haven't
Yes.
finished it.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I finished it.
Yeah.
I finished it last week. I just binged it.
I finished it last week as well. It took me a little while to get through the last episode, but I loved it. It's super, super, super fucking weird.
It is, but it's good.
It's so good.
It's a good weird.
But so weird. Like you feel like you're in a weird society when you're done.
Yeah.
Like a society of people that watch Watchmen and like
Really
and like
pay attention
understand it.
to
Yeah,
it.
you can't miss 1 second of it. But it's really good, and she's incredible in it. Obviously, Game of Thrones is over. That's very sad. I'm working on You now.
It's creepy.
It is creepy.
Yeah.
It's creepy, but like I don't know if it says something about me, but I'm like, people probably do. It's like a lot more than you think they do. So it's I don't know. I need to go to therapy. All right, who's next?
Shawn McDermott.
Yeah, man. Okay, so I will say I was actually very impressed with Josh Allen. I'm not the biggest Josh Allen guy, but I thought overall, at least in the first half, he played with a lot of poise. It didn't look like his first playoff game at all.
No.
And I can't really knock him that much. But what the were the Bills doing? I mean, what did they lose, like 36 yards in 2 plays?
Yeah.
How do you do? You have to try to do that. It was insane. They imploded.
Mm-hmm.
Now listen, Deshaun Watson is Superman, and he took that game over and put it on his back. And J.J. Watt came up huge, like big player, big moment, huge. But come on.
Yeah, the Bills helped for sure.
You blew a 16-point lead. Like, what happened? It was a disaster. Like, I feel like everyone was collectively watching this like, the Bills are never going to change. They're like the Chargers. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And listen, Shawn Mcdermott's a candidate for Coach of the Year. But, like, man, that was rough to watch. I kind of felt for him. Like, what are you guys doing? It was inexplicable.
Yeah, learn from it and move on. Next year, the Bills will be better.
Yeah,
That's all
no,
it's
you're
gonna
going to have
be.
a great year next year. Like, it's not over or anything to be dramatic about, but,
Word.
like, it was not a good situation. What's last?
The Dolphins haters.
Haters!
Bye, haters.
Bye, haters. First of all, I want you all to acknowledge, kiss the ring, the Dolphins are actually the ones responsible for ending the Patriots dynasty. Not only did we provide you with years of training before we handed you Tannehill, okay? That's what that was. All that experience Tannehill showed, he learned that in Miami. And then we did you all a favor by winning in the last game in Foxborough, which I thought was impossible, but winning convincingly, whooping that ass on the last week of the regular season to steal that bye away from the Patriots, ending the Patriots dynasty. You're welcome. You're welcome, America. You're welcome. So all you haters always talking about Dolphins are irrelevant, blah, blah, blah. History will reflect the truth. That's all I'm saying.
Ooh,
We are the ones responsible. Titans deserve a little credit. Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's pretty good. All right, T, what's the T? It's time for the culture reports.
The Coachella lineup has been announced. So it's from Friday, April 10th through Sunday, April 19th. Friday will be Rage Against the Machine. We got Saturday, Travis Scott. And then Sunday, Frank Ocean.
Yes, so I'm not going to Rage or Travis Scott. I like Travis Scott, but I've seen Travis Scott's documentary, so I don't want any parts. And I'm definitely in on Frank Ocean, but then that would
Same.
require me taking a day off work. So here's the thing. I've never been to Coachella. You
I've
went to
been.
Baychella,
Yes.
which is, I'm very jealous. If you haven't seen the Netflix special, do it. It's amazing. And it might actually make you like respect women a little bit more if you're not into that. It's really incredible. Like what Beyonce did is why she's Beyonce. Like there's great and then there's the greatest to ever do it. And watching that documentary shows you why Beyonce is Beyonce. Like the level of commitment and detail and just everything that she put into and the thought and the creativity and the work and the diet and like training and everything that went into this performance is why this is like one of the most legendary performances of all time. She killed it, and it's like I feel bad for anybody who has to perform at Coachella after that
Seriously,
because
yeah.
it's just not going to come close.
Yeah, she set the bar.
And I wasn't even there, so I've never been to Coachella. I do want to go, and I'm debating going this year.
Yeah.
Wrong picture to put up
I
as
know.
I said that. Like there, it's just a sea. I'm having anxiety just looking at that.
Gosh.
It's just an literal ocean of humans.
It's a lot of people. Yeah.
I get
it's-
along with this many people on Earth. So like there's no chance this is a good situation for me. I don't know. I want to experience it because like I live in Los Angeles and I feel like I will have missed out on a piece of that experience being in Los Angeles, not going to Coachella. Not that you have to live in LA to go to Coachella, but like everyone goes to Coachella. It's the best 2 weekends in Los Angeles because no one's here. But I don't know if this might not be the year. I don't know. We'll see. I know, Frank. I know, but
yeah.
like then I'm gonna have to take a day off work because I want to enjoy myself. Yeah. And if I'm around that many people, there's no way I'm gonna be sober. So I can't be dragging myself into work on Monday. So I don't know. I gotta think about it if that's a vacation day or not. This guy's wearing a Toon Squad jersey though. That's cool. Lots of people that I look like I wouldn't get along with there, though.
But even though they're headlining, I mean, you still got Megan Thee Stallion that's going to be there, the baby.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So Meg Thee Stallion is on Friday.
She's
so I
on
would
Friday.
definitely see her. I love Meg.
Yeah.
And the baby's on Saturday?
Yeah, the baby's on Saturday.
Okay, so like I could 3 nights. Ugh,
That's a lot.
my couch.
I went, and after one day, I was done.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Yeah.
got to think about it. Do you think I should go? Yeah.
You're asking the wrong person. I mean, I feel like it's just too much. I only went because it was Beyonce.
But you had that experience now.
Yeah, and I don't want to go back.
I probably won't want to go back either, but I feel like
It's
I
just-
need to experience it. Like it's one of those
too
things I need to
crowded.
be able to share the irritation with everyone else. All right, I'll think about it.
Yeah.
What's next?
All right, so Amanda Seales.
Yay!
She is now the new co-host for the daytime show The Real.
I love this show.
Yeah, I do too.
It's one of the best shows on television, and I love everyone on the show. I read Amanda Seales' book over the holidays. It was very funny and very good. And I like Amanda Seales. I interviewed her in that outfit.
Oh, nice.
That's from the NBA awards.
Booyah.
Yeah, so that happened. Yeah, I'm excited about this. I think she's perfect for this because she's extremely opinionated.
Yes.
And and whether you like whichever way she's on, she doesn't care. And so that's perfect for daytime television. I think this is a good hire by them. She's fills in as a co-host all the time.
Yeah, so I feel like it made sense.
Yeah, so then she just took the permanent role there. So congrats to her. What else happened?
All right, so last but not least, Golden Globes. There's some highlights. Elton John won, Michelle Williams, Ellen DeGeneres, and Tom Hanks. And there was some very interesting speeches.
Yeah, so Tom cried a lot. And he's just...
I like Tom.
Who doesn't like Tom? Like, just even going through his movies, I was like, man, Tom is just... He's such a gem.
At one point, though, I was like, Woody from Toy Story. Every time his
Yes!
voice raised, I'm like, oh, go ahead, Woody.
I know. Toy Story is such a good movie.
It is.
Yeah, he's really he's a treasure. And in Hollywood, that's kind of rare. And it was like nice that he turned and like looked at his family and started crying.
Yeah.
And you know, like genuinely, I'm like, ugh, so fake. But it's Tom, so you know it's not. Like he is wonderful, and I love Charlize Theron. Charlize, if anyone knows Charlize, tell her I'm looking for her and give her my number, and I'd like to get married, and I'm not joking. And I love her so much. Ellen's speech also got like kind of crazy for a second, but
it's
also
funny. I
super
love
funny.
her.
I mean, who doesn't love Ellen? Ellen is the absolute. We don't deserve Ellen, actually, as a society and world. She's perfect. So that was great. And I was happy for Elton John. I'm a huge Elton John fan, and the movie was great. So it was awesome to see him win. And Michelle Williams just dropped the mic. She always gives like a really impactful speech in her own little like. Look how sweet she is.
Yeah.
Like look at her. She's like a literal twinkle in her eye.
Yeah.
And she's just like, just so you know,
Right.
I'm the winner, and you know, let's just like end sexism forever by voting, and because you know, men they always do whatever they want to do, so we should just do what we want to do. Thank you. Good night.
Yeah.
And then just scurries off in like the most poetic and beautiful fashion. And Joaquin was unbelievable. I mean, wow. Did you watch that?
I did. It's unfortunate that he was muted for like a good
Yes,
10
what is
seconds.
that? Who
Like,
cares? This is what we're watching this show for. It was
Right.
like 15 seconds of just dead air.
Yeah.
And like I couldn't find it. Did anyone find out what he actually said?
No.
There's nobody in the room who wants to live tweet. Come on. Everyone's drunk. I know. But it was overall it was fun. I watched the entire thing actually, all the way to the end. And Ricky Gervais did a good job too.
He did.
Yeah, and I thought everyone's speeches were like nice. They always, you know, did a good job mentioning
Yeah.
Australia and the fact that who was it? It was Patricia Arquette. Is that it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, right? Yeah, she had the boobs. She gave a great speech. She was basically like, no one's gonna remember any of this.
Oh.
Like, the important thing is the entire world is burning. So like, please just like do nice things to people. Everyone was like, just be nice to each other, which was kind of nice. Like everyone is really super critical of Hollywood and these award shows and stuff. And then like we always watch anyway, so I don't know why everyone is so like. It makes no sense. You're like, oh, award shows are stupid, but then you sit there and watch and live tweet about it. So it's like, are they that stupid? No, not really. I mean, they're arbitrary awards in the sense that like, you know, there's other people just voting on them and they're not going off of like numbers or anything. But like, it's a prestigious thing to win a Golden Globe, and yeah, like I thought it was nice that everyone was, for the most part, was like very aware. I thought that was a lot of self-awareness for an
sure.
award show. All right, thanks for joining us this week on the Maybe I'm Crazy podcast. Before we go, we do have a big weekend of playoff football coming up. The Vikings are at the 49ers. As I said earlier, they are coming off a very emotional win off the Saints where everyone was very happy that they got the win. I don't like that emotional swing, but the spread is 7 points. A lot of points. I think I'm taking the Vikings with the points. 7? I don't know.
That's a lot of points.
Yeah.
I think the Niners are still going to win, though, right?
I do think the Niners are going to win, but I think I'm going to take Vikings points. Titans are at the Ravens. Thank you, Titans, for ending the Patriots dynasty. Derrick Henry is unbelievable, but I do not think that the Titans can hang with the Ravens, and I think that the Ravens, it's 8.5. It's a lot of points, but I still think I'm going to go with the Ravens to cover that spread and eat those points. Lamar Jackson, MVP, he's had a week to prepare for this. He's ready to go. He's fired up, and I just don't think the Titans have enough for the Ravens despite how well they played last week.
Yep.
Texans are at the Chiefs. This is interesting because it's probably going to be bad weather this weekend in Kansas City, which doesn't matter for the Chiefs, but I do think it matters for the Texans. Now, the Texans did win the last time they were in Kansas City, 31-24. Week 6, but it was perfect weather, and I think Mahomes was a little banged up still then. Yeah. So the Chiefs are giving 9.5 points. I think Houston covers though, because that's a lot of points.
Yeah, it's a lot of points.
For traditionally this being a shootout and a battle, I just want to wait and see exactly what the weather is like. But if the weather isn't abysmal, then I think I'm going to take Houston with the points, because I think either way, I think I got to take Houston. It's just too many points. But the Chiefs obviously win this game. And then the Seahawks are at the Packers. Now, this is an interesting game because I've liked the Packers a lot all season, and I'm still putting my faith in Aaron Rodgers. But man, Marshawn Lynch is back. He's running through your face.
Yeah. Again and again and again and again and again and again. Safe to say he's America's running back at this point.
I love Marshawn Lynch.
I do too, and I hate the Seahawks.
I have to say, like, when I think of my all-time favorite NFL players, like Dan Marino, Junior Seau, Jerry Rice, I think I got to put Marshawn Lynch on there.
Awesome.
Like, I love Marshawn Lynch. I'm so
great.
excited he's back. It's such a gift. And he's running through your face.
Yep.
So I think I'm going to take Seattle with the points because they're getting 4 points.
Yep.
But it is at Green Bay. The thing about it is Seattle's a great road team. Green Bay's a great home team. I don't know. I'm feeling Seattle. I think the Packers win, but I think it's going to be a great game, possibly the best game of the weekend. And then he's going to run for your face. And, of course, all of these spreads are provided by Fox Bet. Anyway, that's our little preview for the weekend. Hope you guys have a great week. Thanks for watching the show today and listening. You can check us out on YouTube. You can listen on the iHeartMedia app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud. Check us out on our social media at Maybe I'm Crazy Pod. And we're on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and everything. Maybe I'll do a Q&A on the podcast page this week. Maybe I'll do that.
Dope.
I did that impromptu last night on my personal page. Skipped a lot of questions because sometimes you guys get weird. But for the most part, it was fun. So maybe I'll do that on the pod this week. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next week.
Maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm not.